Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm going to try to record my videos daily because if I miss out by one day, my next video is not really going to get that many views. So, we're going to be talking about something controversial again. This is going to be after the 4 videos I made before this that were probably had the same exact topic. Man, where are you at, breath? If you're wondering what happened, I had to actually I actually recorded this video for 4 minutes, but people were loud, and then I was like, never mind, I have to recut this. So I cut the video, and I walked down my freaking street, trying to actually find a good place to record, and then it starts raining. I knew it was going to rain, but at that point, I would already have half the video outside, and then go inside and finish it. But it's going to be an indoor video because sometimes the weather's just crappy. But we'll talk about, get right into the thing we're talking about. The Outcasts of the LGBTP community. There's only 4 of them I can think about. I tried talking to a couple of some people I knew, and they didn't exactly know what to say or something. So we're going to go with the 4 main outcasts, or the ones I can think off the top of my head. Pedophiles, Zoophiles, Necrophiles, and Incest People. Basically Alabama people. It was 55 degrees outside, but that no longer matters since it's raining. But we'll get straight into the video without me delaying any further. We'll go to number 1, pedophiles. This is the one I'm most likely sure that it would actually go into the community someday. Like, at least someday. And, if you're wondering why I'm out of breath, I actually sprinted back to my house. But, yeah, pedophiles. So, there's already been a bunch of attempts for them to, like, how do I say this? Integrate into the community. They have their own letter, which is P. They have their own color, which is purple. Which actually is a pretty good combination because P and isn't purple. Twice. But yeah, sometimes they call themselves pedosexuals, maps, whatever. They even have their own flag. At that point, that's basically like the bare minimum to get in this community. Don't be straight. Have a flag. And just go by whatever name. I'm still out of breath somehow. But yeah, about that. So, pedophiles, and aka maps, they basically are like, I don't know exactly to say it. All you need to know is from my previous videos, there are people who like to have sex with kids. I still remember every time I talked about pedophiles in a video, I get a bunch of dislikes. I don't know if it's from the same exact people, like, all 6 of them pedophiles from my comment section are just coming back like, this guy's talking bad about us again, let's go dislike his video. On my mini lab one, there's like 3 dislikes, and I'm like, that man's a pedophile, I even admitted to it. I don't know why they dislike it, and the fact that it's probably tribe mentality, so if I talk crap about one of their kind, they think I'm talking crap about every single one. Which I guess I am, but pedophilia is wrong, you know it, that's how it is. But, what I actually hear from the map community, pedophiles, I actually got freshened up a bit by watching a couple of Ray Glaire's videos. I watched a couple of her videos to figure out, to basically reintegrate my knowledge about the community, but there's actually this is kind of outdated, but there was kids who was pro maps, which I think is actually pretty weird. Like children out there saying, pedophiles are alright. And I'm like, bro. It's odd. And the reason why I say they're most likely to integrate with it, because they don't exactly have that out there type of things. Actually, probably people who do incest are more likely to get in. But they actually go with someone's alive, and it's different, you know. Since you got lesbian and gay, which is basically the same thing but opposite genders. Yo. Never mind, there's a dog in here. Nope, cop probably wobbled the camera. So basically, lesbian and gay are basically the same thing but the opposite genders. Hey, bud. Sorry. Yeah, it's fine. So gay is basically guy on guy, lesbian is women on women. Then there's bisexuals, which actually the funniest thing, because last year, they were straight just a whole-on, like, Marvel Civil War thing happening with them. Because the rest of the community looked at bisexuals and were like, no. And I'm like, what? Because I think it's odd that infighting is actually very common within that community. I think the worst thing the LGBTP community themselves actually done recently was decided, hey, let's put black and brown in our flag. That totally doesn't look offensive at all. And I'm like, dicks. But yeah. And then there's T for trans, I guess, and the fact that it looks like the Teen Titans Tower. They basically don't really have sexuality. They're kind of the same boat as them because they're all mentally ill, but pedophiles fit in just right. They have a sexuality, even if it's not good. They're both mentally ill. I think the weirdest thing, I was thinking about how bad is actually what they say about it, because I always hear about the fact that the LGBTP community does not want pedophiles in there, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. They literally are the same thing. Because they both have an attraction that the majority do not like, or every normal person that isn't normal. They all dress and act alike. It's weird because when you see a pedophile and a gay person, they just dress very, very similar. Just their old odd clothes that you can tell they're gay. Maybe they have a little tint in their voice. Sometimes it's for gay people it's high pitched, but for pedophiles it's raspy. Because most of them at this point just got out of retirement just to go back to school. And y'all know what type of school that is. But yeah, I don't know why they don't just accept them in there. I don't have anything connected to them, luckily. I sometimes get oddly mad about it, but I'm like, why do I care that much? They're literally like, I have nothing to do with them. Because I'm not a pedophile, I'm not part of the LGBTP community, I'm pretty normal. And as you can tell, myself, I'm Russian. And I have nothing to do with that community. I just get kind of pissed because it always reminds me of that one video where this woman, kid, beat up his mom and she only had one leg, so she couldn't exactly fight back, and that's kind of how it feels. It's like the LGBT community is like the kid and the P is the mom. So, I find it kind of odd anyways, and the fact that I probably just dragged this video to 7 minutes. We'll go to the next one. Basically, Zoophiles. Oh, crap, I actually had something to say about pedophiles, but I'll go do that at the end. But with Zoophiles, they're probably second to last on the ones not getting in. Hey, Bebo. Yeah, this is a dog. Proper section timing. Yeah, but Zoophiles are people who are sectioning the animals. I really don't want to have said much about them because they're freaking weird. So they basically talk about how their mate isn't human. I'm like, well, one, you're either so freaking ugly that no human wants to go out with you, so you're like, well, I guess animals are the best next thing. Or you're probably just mentally deranged and just go, well, no one wants a mentally deranged person in their bed. I guess I'll do it with their dog. That just seems how it is. Also, the other thing I know about them people, they seem to mostly go with dogs. I don't know what's exactly up with a dog that makes them, like, happy down there. But it's rarely any other animal, surprisingly. Sometimes they do it with a chicken, a cat, maybe a cow, a sheep. It's the strangest thing I've ever noticed, because I'm like, why only dogs? Why don't you just go with people or get help or just, get that revolver out of your dad's shed, blow your brains out with it? It's really odd about them. Okay, then let's go to the next one. Basically off that joke of Necrophiles. These people are freaking weirdos. I think they're actually the last group that'd be in the LGBTP community. They're straight up they're just dark in some ways because they like to have sex with dead bodies. Or just stuff that's dead in general, which I'm very confused about. Like, what exactly do you find about a dead body that's attractive? Like, what trauma did you have in your life that made you just go, well, I guess dead's for me? I'm like, okay. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't bring any of them people to a movie theater when I'm trying to watch, like, Ash versus the Evil Dead. That'd be a weird movie for them. Ugh. Yeah. Well, now I'm actually moving pretty quick. We're 2 minutes ahead. So, then we're going to go with the last community. Actually, this one's probably more likely to get in the pedophiles, honestly. Basically, the incestuous community. Basically, everybody in Alabama. I think the oddest thing about this, like the incest people to the other three people, is weird because these people aren't accepted anywhere, but they're only accepted in one area, and that's Alabama. I always think about that. Is that always a stereotype? Turns out Florida actually has more incest than Alabama, which does surprise me to a really big standard. It's like that one time I looked up on like Europe where I tried looking up the age of drinking, like the age you can drink alcohol. And Ireland was 14, but Italy was like, I think, a lot lower. Or someone was lower, and I got pretty pissed about it. But about that, yeah. There's actually a couple other nations that are fine with incest, but it's odd. It's the weirdest thing because incest was basically the one that was accepted somewhat. Not everybody's fine with it. Not most people are fine with it. I'm pretty sure God isn't fine with it. Because I think it's the weirdest thing. I think I tried looking something up. I forgot what, and I actually found out there's actually parts of the Bible that go against incest. So they just bring that up like once, and everybody now Bama's gonna become an atheist. It's kind of odd. But we're gonna finish this video off with what I wanted to say before I cut myself off of going back to Zoophiles. So this is about pedophiles in general and what the LGBTP community even thinks about them. Because I always hear their argument and the reason why they don't want pedophiles in their community, and the fact it sounds like the stupidest excuse in my life. It scares me a little bit when pedophiles actually start making more of a actual reason for why they're there. It actually makes sense somewhat, and it scares me. But the gay community, the LGBTP community, them people they just make the weirdest excuses. But to finish this off, so this video doesn't go past like 11 minutes or 12. So we'll give this the finishing blow to this conversation. I hope I don't have to make a video like this unless my comments are filled with people who are trying to dox me, saying pedophilia is good and the community should be all one. But let's finish this off once for all. No lollygagging. So I was actually thinking about this at watching one of Reddit Queer's videos, and I found this one epiphany about it. There's two endings to this little argument. One, you admit sexuality is a choice, which actually would give the gay people the overhead, but not by much though. It would actually explain that pedophiles do choose to be pedophiles and gays choose to be gays. Because that one didn't beat the idea of that pedophiles really don't have the overhand. And then the one that probably makes it look like a very losing battle for them, that sexuality is innately born. Because think about this. You got the LGBT community that's saying that pedophiles shouldn't be in the community, and that I think about it, they say that you were born gay, and I'm like, that's really stupid. And if they think that's true, and people are born pedophiles, that just means the pedophiles belong in the community. Hey, bud. And that would mean that the pedophiles belong in the community. At that point, that would shatter their whole mind structure of the community. Because what I hear most about that community, like a long time ago, was you are as you were born. Basically, you go into the community born as that. Like you can be born transgender, bisexual, lesbian, gay. But if you can be born a pedophile, that means they can belong in the community too. That's literally just by objection and by their own rules. They have no reason to cry about that when it's by their own rules. And if they say it's a choice, that means they would only have the high ground by like a foot. Actually, at that point, that seems like a lose-lose battle for them. But I will stop extending the video as long as possible. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe. I kind of want to get past 64 at this point because I only have a stack of chads. And hope